BBC News. In other news, officials in Ukraine say a Russian drone attack on a bus has killed at least 9 people and injured 30. The attack took place in the town of Marhanets, across the river from the Russian-occupied Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. Images show a bus with a hole punctured through the ceiling, blood and glass scattered across the floor. Other areas of Ukraine also been hit, including Kherson, where an energy facility has been destroyed. Strikes come as the latest round of talks between European, US and Ukrainian negotiators, scheduled to take place in London, has been downgraded to a lower level at the last minute. President Volodymyr Zelensky's top aide has arrived in London alongside top Ukrainian officials, despite those planned negotiators being postponed. Well, we can speak now to Yuriy Sak, advisor to Ukraine's Ministry of Strategic Industries. Thank you for coming on the programme.
Good morning.
So more talks about to get underway here in London. What are you hoping from them?
Well, our team, our negotiating team is already in London, and they have a very clear mandate from our president, which is to discuss with the parties who will be at the table, to discuss possible ways of establishing an unconditional and full ceasefire, because that will be the first stage that will pave the way, hopefully, for further negotiations that will result in achieving just, enduring and lasting peace.
And what do you make of the absence in some key figures from the US, or perceived lack of enthusiasm by the US here?
Well, I don't want to read too much into either the absence of some or the presence of the others. What we need to understand is that the United States of America continues to be our strategic partner. And what is important that right now, and this was the case in the Paris talks, and it is the case now in London, that the European partners are also at the table, which means that the United States of America understands the importance of having Europe, involved in these discussions. And going forward, of course, such things as security guarantees will simply not be possible without the participation of the European partners, as well as, for example, the continuation of the sanctions regime. That is also something that European countries are very heavily relied on. So, we'll see how what this day brings. But we have to understand that we need to force Russia into this unconditional ceasefire. Ukraine has shown since the Jeddah talks that we are serious about these commitments, and we are ready to continue on the path of peace.
Okay,
Russia is still to show that.
You said there the phrase unconditional surrender from Russia. That's very black and white. That's very straightforward. You will be aware of media.
I didn't say. I apologize. I said unconditional ceasefire.
Unconditional ceasefire. Thank you. That's an important clarification. My apologies. You will be aware of the media reports that are being reported now that Russia might be ready to halt its invasion along the current battle lines. It gets sovereignty over Crimea. What's your thoughts on that?
We knew from the very start of this negotiating process that it will not be easy. But while it will be tough, it must also be realistic. And there are certain things, and we've made that clear so many times. Our president said it openly on the different international platforms, that there are certain issues which are non-negotiable for us because they are enshrined in our constitution, and our president even doesn't have a mandate to decide upon them. So, for example, the territorial sovereignty is not something that can be unilaterally decided by the president and his team. The Ukraine is not a tyranny, unlike Russia, which means that the only ultimate source of power in our country are the people of Ukraine. And the people of Ukraine are firmly committed to our territorial integrity because, I will repeat, for us, this war is not just about some villages and cities and towns. For us, it's about our survival. And we understand that, if Russia is allowed to go unpunished, if the aggressor is appeased, Ukraine will have a very, very difficult future. So we are doing all we can diplomatically to ensure that whatever talks these result is a just and stable and sustainable peace.
Well, that message is very clear. Do you, though, think that gives much leeway for any talks at all?
Well, it does, because we are realistic, and our flexibility, for example, in the question of NATO membership, we've already said that, okay, at this moment in time, Ukraine will not be pushing for NATO membership. We will leave it till later. The same goes for certain situations in terms of our territories. Some of them are now temporarily occupied by the aggressor, and we are unable at the moment, unfortunately, to push out the enemy from our land. But no, and we will not be, stubborn, and we will not stall the peace process, requiring that all Russian troops are out immediately. So, there is the reality on the ground, and, we are cognizant of it. But at the same time, legally, we will never recognize an illegal, unprovoked aggression as something which is normal and valid, because this will send, a very bad signal to other rogue countries around the world. We don't want this world order to be destroyed entirely, and tyrannical countries to run rampant.
Yuriy Sak, thank you very much for coming on the program. Thank you.
Thank you.